Hello, this is Freeman from the STRAKS development team, and in this video I'm going to show you how to install and set up the STRAKS Point of Sale system on Microsoft Windows. So STRAKS Point of Sale is written in Python 3, and in order to run it on Windows you first need to install Python 3. So I'm going to show you how to do that. If you go to the website python.org/downloads, this is the official page to download Python. Go ahead and click the download Python 3.6.5. Hit run. We'll download the installer to your computer. Now we're going to want to hit customize installation and make sure that pip is checked on the optional features. Hit next and then click the box to add Python to the environment variables. Once that happens, click install and Python 3 will begin to install on your computer. Alright, once the setup completes, go ahead and click close. Now if we go back to the STRAKS Point of Sale GitHub page, under the installation instructions, you can see the first step is to pip install STRAKS Point of Sale. So pip is something we just installed with Python, and it has the ability to go and download Python packages from the internet. So what we're going to do is go down to the search bar and type in PowerShell. This will open up a command line for the Windows operating system. And in order to install STRAKS Point of Sale, we're going to type pip install STRAKS POS. Go ahead and hit enter. And it will go out to the internet and download all the necessary packages for STRAKS POS. And after that completes, the installation should be complete. So now that it's installed, we can run the server by typing STRAKS POS. Now the first time you run STRAKS POS, it's going to ask you to provide it with either a number of STRAKS addresses or what's called an extended public key. So it needs this information to be able to receive payment from customers. It needs a place to send the funds. So by providing STRAKS addresses, it will use those lists of addresses as receiving addresses. If you provide it with a public key, what it can do is derive any number of keys from that one public key. So I'm going to show you how to do both of these. Now, as a merchant, you're going to need somewhere to store your coins, your STRAKS that you receive. So in order to do that, you'll need to have one of the STRAKS wallets installed in your computer. My recommendation to get started very easily is to use the Electron Wallet from STRAKS. There's another video that we've created which will show you how to install this, and I'll link to it in the description of the video. So if you don't have it installed, go ahead and watch that and get it installed. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and open my Electron Wallet. And I'll just enter the credentials for the test wallet that I created. And now you're going to, like I said, you're either going to want to use an extended public key or a list of addresses. So in order to get access to the addresses associated with this wallet, you can go to View. And in my case, I already had it shown, but you can click Show Addresses and then go over to the Addresses tab. And what it's done is created a number of different addresses for you to use. So if we go back to the PowerShell terminal, and let's say you want to use static STRAKS addresses, you can hit 1, and then it'll ask you to begin entering a list of addresses. So in this case, I'll just add that, and then you can add a second one, and it can take any number of addresses. Now, for example, if you enter something invalid, it'll let you know. So you know that you're not going to be entering any invalid addresses. When you're done, you can hit Q and press enter, and what it will do is write these addresses to the configuration file that STRAKS Point of Sale uses, and then it'll start up the server. So I'm not going to do that just yet because I want to show you the other option, which is using an extended public key. So if I click 2, it'll ask me to enter my extended public key. Now, like I said, the extended public key can be used to generate any number of addresses, which all tie back to this original wallet. So if you want to get the extended public key for your Electron wallet, hit Wallet, Information, and just copy the key that's in this box. What you can do then is take that and enter it into this box. So when you hit Enter, what it will do is write the STRAKS POS configuration file to your home directory in a folder called .strakspos, and it will start up the server. So let's go ahead and take a look at that directory. If I go into my Finder, I go to C, Users, my username, and this brings me to my home directory. Now, any folder with a dot before it is considered what's called hidden. So if you can't see the folder, you want to go up to View and check Hidden Items, and then it will show you. So if we go into the STRAKS POS directory, you can see that there's a file called strakspos.cfg. I'm going to go ahead and open this with Notepad. And you'll see that this is the configuration file for STRAKS. Now, when you used this installer, what it did is it took the extended public key that you gave it, and it put it right to the bottom of the file. Now, if you did this with addresses, it would also append the addresses to the file. So this is the data directory where all your information for STRAKS will be held, is this .strakspos. So before we take a look at the server, let's take a look at this configuration file, and I'll walk you through some of the other options that you can set. One is you can set the fiat currencies that you want to support. So there's a whole list of them right here, and you can pick and choose which ones you want. If we go down, you can also add what's called the tax rate. If you add a positive number to this, it will generate the tax rate. If you add a negative number, it will allow you to do a discount. So in this case, it would be, you can give a 6% discount, and this, if you did it positive, it would be a 6% tax rate. I'm just going to put it at a tax rate for now. Here you can set the port that the server will listen on. By default, it's 8080. Here, under the label section, you can change the label that displays on the site. So if you want to make it your store name or something else, you can. Here, you can restrict what IP addresses are allowed to access the server. So if you want to close it down to just the specific computers that you know are going to be accessing the site, or for example, a network or subnet range, you can do that. In this section, you can enter SMTP server and login information in order to enable the emailing of the logs. This section allows you to add a custom exchange to the configuration, and if you want to, you can add the specific keys in this section. Finally, at the bottom, like I said, this is where the addresses are stored. So we've defined the extended public key here, and like I said, STRAKS POS will configure the addresses if you add them in here as well. So with the configuration file looked at, I'm going to go ahead and save it. And now the server is saying that it's running on port 8080, and it's running on the IP address that this computer has. So the first thing we need to do is get access to the computer's IP address. Let's go ahead and open up another PowerShell window. And in this window, I'm going to type the command ip config. And it's going to show me the list of network interface adapters that I have available. Pick the one that you're currently using, go under IPv4, and copy this address. If you select it and right-click, it'll add it to your clipboard. I'm going to go back to the internet, create a new tab. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and put that IP address into the address bar. And if you remember, it said it was being hosted on port 8080. So to specify that, you just need to type :8080 after you enter the address. Go ahead and click enter. And you'll be presented with the main page for STRAKS Point of Sale. So if you've got to this point, it means that the server is running successfully, and yeah, you should be good. So I'm going to go ahead and click Get Started. And that'll take me to the invoice page where I can begin to take payment from customers. So for example, let's say you do a $20 $20 sale, you can then hit the percent sign to add tax. You can change the fiat currency up here, and then when you hit start, or when you hit the check mark, it will create a new invoice for that payment. Now if you notice, it auto-generated an address, and that's because of that public key that we put into the configuration file. So yeah, at this point you're good to start accepting STRAKS, and anything that users send to the generated addresses will automatically be sent to your Electron Wallet. So as long as you back up the key for this wallet, it doesn't need to stay online, you don't need to have it hosted anywhere. The funds will automatically go there, and when you want to retrieve them, you can simply open it up and take the funds. Additionally, you can view the past transactions over in the log section, and you can print them out or email themselves if you configured email in the settings. So that wraps up how to do this for Windows. Let me show you one other thing. So if you take the IP address of this computer, and then let's say, for example, I go over to my Mac. As you can see, I already have it up. But if you paste the IP address into another computer on the same network, it will also be able to access the point of sale system. So that's how, for example, you could run this in your office on a main computer that you have that no one's really using, and then your sales associates in the front of the store can simply plug in the IP address and they'll be able to access the point of sale system. So with that, I will leave you, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or hop on to the STRAKS Discord channel. My name's Freeman on there. You're welcome to hit me up, or any of the other team members. Thank you very much, and have a great day.